Hi everybody, my name's Lindy Cowling and my website is www.lindycowling.co.uk, which will tell you some things about my background, but basically I'm here today to talk about the twin flame union. The reason that this is something that I'm very passionate about and is very close to my heart is that I have 3 years physical experience of going through the process of a twin flame connection, and it's something that has changed the whole course of my life, something that I've learned so much from, and I know that there's a lot of confusion out there amongst people as to what this twin flame template really is. There are some wonderful people on YouTube that have a vast amount of experience on this, and I'm going to cite them straight off. Gold Ray Twin Flames in Canada are absolutely fantastic. I resonate totally with their frequency, and they have something like 22 years living practical physical experience of this connection. So anything you want clarity on, or you want another person's view on, on this similar vibration, go to them. But basically, I'm going to start right at the very beginning. When you connect with a twin flame connection, the twin flame union is a template. And when I explain what a template is, it's like, the way I explain it when I do my public inspirational speaking is it's like a pattern, like a knitting pattern that you have laid down. And if you think about humanity up to now has had a pattern, if you like, of what we call third dimensional relationships, where man meets woman, they fall in love. Although they may feel some sensation in the heart, it's not really a heart or spiritual connection so much as a connection more in the head and of hormones and chemistry. And I'm not discounting that love, it's still love. It's just a different kind of love, a love almost that is not quite so expansive. So there's no criticism of that. Love is love, but it's just a different form of love. The twin flame template is a form of love that comes totally from the spiritual connection and the soul connection, which speaks through the heart, and the ego, the brain, has very little to do with it. That does not mean to say that if you are in connection with a twin flame that your mind is absent, but what I'm trying to say is that the soul and the spiritual connection is everything. That drives the connection. The heart is massively connected because your soul speaks and communicates through your heart, and the brain is the last thing. It's all this way round, it's all the reverse, all the other way round. When or if people connect in this way, twin flames are very, very unusual in that they are not here as the new soul connections or the new divine partnerships. They are here to be a template, a frequency, a vibration, so that new divine partnerships form in the years that follow. So for the younger generation, or for their children and their children's children, they will have what we call divine partnerships, much higher level of soul connection, and all connected from the heart. Twin flames have been coming in over a sequences of years to hold this frequency, and it's been especially important as we've gone through this change of energy through 2011, 2012, 2013, through the years of ascension here, 2014. It's been really, really important, and this is kind of the whole age now where loads of these really high heart level connection partnerships are forming. You'll notice when I'm talking, I'm not using the word relationship. These are partnerships, they are not relationships, because relationships are to do with the brain, boy meets girl thing, more of the more base level chakra connections, more in those programs of control, manipulation, all that kind of thing. These are partnerships which are driven by the spirit and the soul of the being that you are. And like I say, that talks through the heart. The mind is not in control of these connections. The spirit and the soul is. There aren't actually that many twin flames here because they're not actually here to be, the new level of divine connection. They are here to hold a vibration, a template, to clear the bloodlines, and I'll talk about that in a minute, so that new divine partnerships come in over the top of them, so that new partnerships come in, so that your idea of what a connection with a man or a connection with a woman will be vastly different in 5 or 10 years time or 15 years time. It won't be that chemical, just that chemical. I'm not saying there isn't a chemical reaction, of course there is, but it won't be just that chemical reaction driven by the head. It will be a much deeper connection than that, what we call a divine level connection. For me, when this experience happened, when you have this connection, not as only is if you connect in this way, for me, for the twin flame connection, you go into this period of very, very intense energy. When Mel and Nicole from Canada refer to this, they call it the bubble love. When I was with my twin connection, we used to nickname it the room 2 love. All I can say to you is it's such a high level of love that if you were to hear a piece of music that had the tears rolling down your eyes because you felt yourself so profoundly moved, if you'd had a near-death experience and thought that you had seen someone that had passed over the other side and they'd come back to talk to you, if you had a profound belief in angels, or an angel had manifested in front of you and you felt so much love coming from your heart that you could hardly contain it, and the room was as bright as you could possibly imagine, it's that kind of connection that brings you to tears because of the sheer happiness of it. It's that level of connection, and that's what Mel and Nicole refer to as the bubble love. We refer to it as a room 2 love. You are in this very, very high level of connection. And then what happens is, after a period of time, weeks or months, sometimes a bit longer, but not usually. For us, it was quite a few months. In a way, you could say the bubble bursts. It's not the euphoria that you come out of, but holding that level of connection and frequency, it starts to drop, because living as like an angelically 24/7 in a human vessel with all the emotional body and the pain body and the etheric body around you in a physical existence, can profoundly affect things. And to be quite blunt, the mud has to hit the fan. And to clear the programming, I'm going to use that word again continually through YouTube videos, to clear the programming, to clear all your timeline, what you would call past lives history. We'll talk about that another date as well, because I've got a lot to say on that. But to clear all that stuff and all your blocks and your soul wounds, you have to go through the emotional stuff, and that can be extremely challenging, because twin flames, as part of the twin flame union and the template, aren't only just clearing their stuff as a one soul being, because twin flames, are a one soul being, the masculine and feminine charge of the same soul. They're not just clearing their stuff, but they're clearing all the family line that they were born into, their stuff. And then after that, they're clearing for humanity. They're here to clear up the bloodlines. And when people say, what do you mean clear up the bloodlines? If you had a long family history of incest, if you had a long family history of narcissism, if you had a long family history of addictions, alcohol, sex, drugs, whatever, but long family history of it, then what they do is they by their putting out this frequency, by their existence in this physicality, they are breaking down the programs, breaking down all this, the blockages, if you like, and the genetic patterning, really, that runs through the family line. So genuine twin flames, in my personal experience, but also in the experience in the twin flames that I talk to, because I do talk to a lot of twin flames worldwide. As a result, they come to me to ask me things, and we talk via Skype, is that most of them are born into these more complicated bloodlines. Because when you think about it, why wouldn't we be? Why would we be born into a family that nothing needs clearing up? It's all fine. We haven't got, it's all hunky-dory. It doesn't really happen. It's not that way. I've not experienced it that way personally. I've got an immense amount to talk about on the twin flame union, because apart from the 3-year experience I've got of it, and I'm fully aware that there's no way that I know everything there is to talk about this. There isn't. I can only talk from my own experience. And that's only 3 years, but it's still 3 years, and a lot has happened in that time. But I have seen every variation on a theme here, to the lightest of the light, to very more darker ends of the polarity. I can tell you, that I have experienced through other people, their experiences, but also from my personal experiences, interference with the union, from not so necessarily positive interference from outside. And I don't necessarily mean other people, but other energies that are not always entirely positive. So there are all different dynamics to this, but the twin flame union is here, like I say, to clear up bloodlines, to put out a frequency of coming from the heart, that higher level of connection. A huge amount of twin flames, genuine twin flames, aren't actually supposed to be in a physical, what you would know as a physical man-woman relationship anyway. That's not a word you're going to hear me say, because even saying that makes my teeth go on edge. I'm not of that template anymore. So it's not relationships, it's partnerships. A lot of them are in to dance around the energies, to put this vibration out, to be profoundly connected in one another's lives, to work for humanitarian purposes, to clean the bloodlines. But yes, the amount of love that these connections have, there is all those romantic feelings involved, and there is love on all different levels involved. There's the highest love you can imagine, like I said to you, like an angel, but there is also, because you can't separate that, there is love through the mind, there is love for the human person that they are, the personality that they are, but that is only part of it, just part of it. There is so much more. It's love on every level, and a lot of people that are listening to this may have experienced and touched on bits of this, but other people will just not quite understand what I'm talking about. It's almost like something that has to be experienced. But why I'm making this point is that apart from the twin flame template, because of people like the twin flames, and not just twin flames, other soul connections that are here on the planet at this time that are pumping out similar vibration, because of that, there'll be more and more heart awakening catalysts going on within people's lives, because we're not only in the ascension energies, but people are awakening like no other time, and twin flame thing is just part of that mixture. People will be meeting people, and these people will have a profound effect on their heart, and they'll be thinking, oh my God, is this a soulmate? Is this a twin flame? People will be meeting people of the same sex, and when, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone of the other sex, and they're still having that effect on their heart, and they can meet 2 or 3 people, and they're all having an effect on their heart, and they'll be thinking, what's going on? Am I going crazy? Am I in love with all these people? What's happening is hearts are opening up, and as this happens, you can have this heart awakening effect with feeling profound love for an animal or a piece of music, or it can happen even without anybody or anything else around. For that way, I haven't experienced it that way. There's always been an outside catalyst for me, but it can happen that way. And there will be people that are experiencing all kinds of stuff going on, and it is all positive. But they may be confused about that at the time, and they may be thinking, well, this is a twin flame and a soulmate, and it may be neither of those things. And in fact, it probably isn't either of those things. It's probably the heart firing up and connecting. Having said that, as we get into this more heart energy now, which is pumping through, when people do come out of connections with other people, what you would call relationships, they are going to be more driven by their soul to be in connection with someone that is more of the heart, if they are of that persuasion. So they are going to want to connect more from that level. They're going to be wanting to feel different levels of love. And this goes right across the board. I mean, I could talk on this, forever and a day, because something that I'm passionate about and that I've experienced, like I say, certain elements of it as well. And it affects every element of you, when you have these connections. And so we're entering actually amazing times, because higher level connections, with people from the soul are going to become much more commonplace. And I'm not saying twin flames are becoming more commonplace. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, as a result of twin flames pumping out that frequency, clearing the bloodlines, and ascension, it's all connected. This is none of it separate. We're all connected. All this consciousness is connected. That this is going to become, these heart awakening symptoms, if you like, are going to become more common, and there is going to be a lot of confusion about that. But it is all very positive. It's all about love. And again, when I talk about love, not just love from the mind, that's the least of it. A much deeper connection of love, which is absolutely wonderful. It's joyful, it connects with the heart opening, everything overlaps. So like I say, I'm going to sort of bring it to a close here now, just kind of dipping my toe in the water, starting off, talking a bit about the twin flame template. There's loads that I would like to talk about on that, loads on the heart, loads on ascension. And for me, I know through what my own experience that they are all one and the same thing. That for me, it doesn't mean everyone that's going through ascension has had a twin flame experience. They haven't. Everybody's having these experiences in different ways. But part of my soul design was to, experience that twin flame union as part of what's happening with me. But everybody will be different. And the great thing is that we're all stepping into this time now where we all have this opportunity, to connect with people in every, not just romantically, but in every level of life, in your workplace, not just in your personal life, in your professional lives, where you can connect with people from a much higher level of truth and authenticity in the heart, and coming from this wonderful space. And it all connects with all this. You can have these soul connections, and it's nothing to do with romantic love. Romantic love is there in some of them, but that's only one part of this amazing thing. Anyway, I'm going to bring that to a close now. So, like I say, you'll see both my work, but also Kai Thomas, who is filming these. And it's very much his heart energy, what he's doing behind the camera here as well, putting his energy into this, that is making this creative endeavour possible as well. So you'll see more of our stuff going out onto YouTube, and so I wish you all the best until we catch up next time. From my heart to yours. Thank you. Bye bye.